welcome everybody to the Super Metroid multi-category extension tournament race between Kashmod and ProfessorSchool. This will be race 1 in a best-of-3 series. They have elected to race the All Bosses category. ProfessorSchool has vetoed North Korea %, which is how this tournament works, multi-category. And Cash picked All Bosses. We're going to get started any minute now. Just waiting for the racers to ready up. Looks like there they go. I am going to... Yeah, if you're just joining us from the Rando Finals, welcome. I caught some of that. That would have been a heck of a race. All right, they have readied up. They'll be starting momentarily. Those of you new to this is the multi-category extension tournament race, so you won't see any normal standard categories here. There are 5 categories in this tournament that the runners can choose. Any % all bosses is probably the most familiar to a casual viewer. And then there is 69%, where they have to pick up exactly 69% of the items and then finish the game. Max GT or GT Max or Max % GT code. That one involves picking up the minimum number of items required to enter the GT code and then grabbing everything in the rest of the map before finishing the game. And then a couple others we might get into in a little bit. For now, let's see how they do in Series Station. Series, everybody's least favorite part of a full Super Metroid speedrun. It's full of RNG, everything always goes wrong in a race. Again, our runners are ProfessorSchool and kashmod. Two very, very good runners. They do a lot of different categories. They got some great times across all of the category extension categories that we're running. See what I say about series. Kashmod falling down in the magnet stairs room, which I don't know about you guys, but that's a reset for me just because it's less than 90 seconds into the run. Not bad, though. Not bad. Nobody getting too tripped up by the series station escape. So we are watching All Bosses. There's a couple different ways that they might be able to do this, depending on how they like to run standard any %. So you can do the typical KPDR, Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, Ridley way of doing things. And if you do, the first half hour of the run or so looks just like an old route run, if you're familiar with any % old route. You could opt to do a new route style run, the PRKD way. I'm not entirely sure if that is optimal for all bosses, though. The world record route starts with Phantoon and then dips into Norfair to pick up a couple of upgrades, most notably Wave Beam and Speed Booster, and then heads to Meridia to pick up Plasma Beam as quickly as possible and use that to get rid of the rest of the bosses. So as you would expect with any vanilla category, Morph Ball is the first pickup, along with the Awakening Missiles. because without those, we can't do anything. Yes, we finally get to see Spore Spawn. Spore Spawn is required in this category. You will not see him till the end. Most runners will pick a route that takes on Spore Spawn on their way to the G4 statue at the end of the game. It's the last boss they'll take out. I'll say about Spore Spawn, despite being one of the first basic bosses to teach you how to play the game in a casual playthrough, for a speedrunner, he's annoying. Things can go sideways pretty quickly. He will not end your run in as much as he won't kill you, but he can waste a lot of time. And ooh, we got some differing strats in the climb room. Professor going with the traditional wall jumps, kashmod doing the just defend or behemoth style ledge grabs. They say that optimally it's better to do the wall jumps, but from a practical standpoint, it doesn't really matter. Ooh, ProfessorSchool taking a hit before going into Bomb Chorizo is not what he wanted to see. Bomb Chorizo is going to drop a bunch of stuff. You want him to drop missiles. But Professor is probably going to get some health mixed in there, and if he doesn't get enough missiles, he might not be able to finish this quickly. It's looking like 2-round BTs for both runners. Actually not so bad. Getting a 1-round consistently on Bomb Chorizo is takes a lot of practice, and even then I've seen top runners mess it up from time to time, so overall, not bad times coming out of there. I think they used the same Terminator strat. I did not actually see how they entered. The idea in that room is to time your shots so that it takes out all the enemies in the way. And you can just run straight down the room. There's a couple different ways you can set it up to make it happen. I like to bonk the door and then hold shot through the door transition. Count 9 shots, and switch to missiles to take out the waiver at the end. And here's our casual players get shocked moment. For most of us, we know what just happened there, but it's easy to forget that you're not actually supposed to be able to do that. Rolling under that gate as it is closing is usually the first trick that a speedrunner has to learn when they get into speedrunning this game. And here's another same trick. We call a mock ball, and it allows Samus to preserve her full running speed, or whatever speed she had when she started the ball, while in ball form, which is not normally possible. To do it, you have to build up running speed, jump, and morph as you're landing, and if you get it right, you'll keep your speed. Notably, it can be paired up with Speed Booster to keep Blue Suit while in ball form, and some tricks like that. You see that a lot in 100% runs, but you should see at least one of those in this all bosses run as well. So Prof was ahead by a couple of seconds back in Blue Brinstar about 5 minutes ago. and they have switched places, but no defining lead yet. So. Red tower here is going to be our first glance at where the runners are going to go. They're both mockballing through the door, which means they're both going down. So we're going to see some KPDR routes. Like I said earlier, the world record route does go up to Fantoon first, but it's significantly more dangerous. For a race situation, I certainly don't blame anybody for doing this route instead. I like that crate entrance from kashmod. And ProfessorSchool going with the triple supers. Doesn't quite stick the landing. A familiar problem to anybody who goes for that strat. And as this is going to be a KPDR version, we get to see grade pretty early. Really good crate entrance time from kashmod. 9:38 to enter that door. Hello, Crade. Goodbye, Crade. Nice quick kill. Let's see if Professor can follow that up. There we go. Double quick kills. No Crade standing up for us today. Messing up that quick kill will typically cost at least 20 to 25 seconds, sometimes more. Which in a race situation is, it's bad, but there are worse things you can mess up. But in my experience, it certainly feels bad to miss that trick. Ooh, is Cash going to get that? I think he got the mock ball. That's a neat little escape from the warehouse key hunter room. The mock ball through that door. Saves a handful of frames, but it looks pretty cool. And both runners going for the Grade E tank. It's optional. You only actually need 3 E tanks, and I believe the optimal ones to grab are Terminator, High Jump, and Bottle. But the Grade tank can be acquired much earlier and make most of the run an awful lot safer. So in a race, again, makes sense that they'd grab it. ProfessorSchool banned North Korea. So we will not be seeing North Korea percent tonight. The next race after this one, regardless of who wins, is immediately afterwards. So we may see, after this all bosses run, 69% Nintendo Power or GT Max. Professor is losing a couple of wall jumps there. Another thing that just feels bad to miss. You feel like you've done it a million times. Why is it not working this time? They're still only a room apart, however. While they do this item collection, I suppose I can explain. The black sheep is the Nintendo Power % one. That's the one that not everybody's heard of. So back in the day, Nintendo Power Magazine released an official guide on how to get the best ending in Super Metroid, which, in order to do, you must complete the game in less than 3 hours of in-game time. So the Nintendo Power Percent speedrun follows that guide exactly. It's a very strange category. You have to pick up a set number of items in a very specific order. And Nintendo didn't really seem to know the game very well when they wrote that, because it has you pick up some items in very, very odd times. For example, you pick up Speed Booster and then immediately have to grab the Norfair Reserve. Without Space Jump, without Grapple Beam, it doesn't make sense for a guide to tell the player to do that. We might see that after this. But for now, this is looking like a pretty typical any percent run, and will for the next 15 minutes or so. And high five in the wave beam room. Double chamber can be another place where it doesn't lose a lot of time, but if you messed up that wall jump that both runners just beautifully got, it just feels bad. And, oh, some bonking going on Prof's side. So as is typical with a KPDR run, we're going to see the runners head up to wrecked ship here. They may opt to, kashmod's not, but they may opt to pick up Ice Beam on the way if they're a fan of early ice. ProfessorSchool opens the Ice Beam room, but doesn't actually go in. That's to save supers later on. And Alpha Spark coming up for kashmod here. There it is. Always nice to see a clean Alpha Spark like that. A lot of the top runners will grab 2 E-Tanks. They'll skip the crate E-Tank. And if you do that, it's usually advised not to do Alpha Spark just because it costs too much health. But with 3 E-Tanks, it's basically free and you might as well go for it. Ooh, I like that red tower climb from kashmod. That's a swaggy strat. Alright, the key in the powerbomb room. Don't get eaten by a Vileplume. Cash is still ahead, but we are 1 Vileplume away from a lead change, so he's out okay. And set the powerbomb and kill the Cax. If you kill the Cax before the powerbomb goes off, you'll reduce the slowdown. Or you can use the powerbomb to kill the Cax. It actually kind of works either way, because you can lay the powerbomb earlier if you don't worry about killing the Cax first. And, ooh, Ocean Fly. Oh, no, 2 Spark from Cash. He's not going for Ocean Fly. I think Professor might go for it, though. Yep, he's going... Oh, dang. No Ocean Flies today. Don't know if he meant to pick up that Moat Missile or not, but... Well, he's getting it. And here comes the Fantoon fights. Since both runners skipped ice and picked up wave with no spazer, I am expecting to see some X factors here. There's a couple different ways you can do the X factor strats. Some faster than others. And oof, not a fast pattern for Cash. Or a mid. So it must be a slow. ProfessorSchool gets a mid. And both of them landed that X Factor in the first round. Now, they don't have power bombs, so it won't be a double X Factor. Let's go for some missiles and finish them off with a super excellent 2-round from kashmod. ProfessorSchool finishing up less than 2 seconds later. Very nice. Fantoon drops can be kind of important. See, I'm looking at this and thinking Cash only got 1 power bomb out of that, and that's not really what he wanted. Professor has 3. Full supers for both runners, though. And left side wreck ship supers makes 20 missiles, 10 supers, and 5 power bombs. Which I believe is going to be the end of the ammo pickups. At least it would be for me. Oof, kashmod with the blue suit strats in the attic. Can they get it? Oh, they got it. That is an amazing temporary blue suit strat. Love to see it. Okay, Professor looked like he was going for another strat and ended up having to use ballistics. Doesn't lose too much time. Attic is, for these runners, if something goes wrong in Attic, they know how to recover from it. Oh, are we going to see a bowling spark? Ooh, kashmod is putting on a show for us. Look at this. Oh, Professor, are you going for bowling spark too? Oh, no. Okay. Looked like it for a minute. Either way, Professor taking 3 hits from the spikes or kashmod bowling spark, it's 90 health either way. With various suit, the spikes do 30 damage. Although, fun fact, the spikes in bowling don't actually hurt you. The spikes are just a graphic that they put on the floor. The actual damaging part of the room is the floor itself. And runner's picking up gravity suit just after the 22-minute mark, which is really good. Ooh, I think Cash may have bonked that. Yeah, they're gonna go for the... Skip that missile. Don't even bother going up and over. And we'll see if they decide to farm the crabs here to make up for that power bomb deficiency. Yeah, there we go. And probably frog farm on the way down Red Tower. ProfessorSchool looks like his ammo is fine. I don't think we'll see him do too much farming. Next stop is Meridia. And the key here... Oh, a vile plume. Dang grass types getting in the way. Okay, Professor demonstrating what I was about to say. The key here is super missiles. They have Wave Beam, they have Power Bombs, they're probably going to be X-Factoring Bot Wound, but even with the X-Factor, it does take 6 more supers. And if you miss a shot, well, you better hope you have extras, because Bot Wound is a boss that can waste a ton of time if he wants to. You have 9 and 10 supers for both runners. That is enough. And Professor, of course, picks up his 10th one from the Cack Attack that are free super dispensing machines. 24 minutes in, we are still only a room away, or a room and a bit. So this is some exciting stuff. Now, depending on how comfortable Professor is with his health, he may decide not to do that spark there. Yeah, he's going for it. He's got enough health to take 1 hit from Bot Wound and not really worry about it, and then the Bot Wound E-Tank is immediately afterwards. So health, less of a concern here, just enough to get through Bot Wound is fine. Speaking of Bot Wound, which kind of strategy are we going to see from Cash here? Ah, the D-Factor. It's my favorite. Oh, didn't set it up quite right. Remember what I was saying about Bot Wound being able to waste a ton of time when he wants to. See what happens to Professor over here. Oh, getting the upper pattern. But nailing it anyway, and just like that, we have a lead change. With ProfessorSchool taking out Bot Wound on the difficult pattern. What a champ. Alright, do either of them go for full halfies? I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. Professor going for the halfie and accidentally bonking the door. Kashmod going for the full halfie, missing the down grab at the top. Oh well, that is a very, very difficult spark to pull off. Your movement must be exactly right. So, no shame in going for it and missing it, really. Professor into the Dragon fight. With a spare power bomb. Which is exactly what he needs. He's going to want to charge a spark and charge an X-Factor at the same time. And time it so that he launches the spark. I guess Kashmod's doing it right now, too. But they want to launch the spark and hit Dragon with as many of those X-Factor particles as possible. And Dragon turned pretty red there, so that was a good hit for ProfessorSchool. I think Cash might have missed an X-Factor particle, maybe even 2. But still. And, ooh, Professor. Dragon already down. There's too much going on. I can't keep track of all of this. No blue suit or spike suit for ProfessorSchool, though. So I'm thinking we're going to see him attempt a Womple jump to get out of Coliseum. Looks like Kashmod missed out on the blue suit as well. And doesn't appear to be going for spike suit either. So let's see. I like Womple Jump. It's one of my favorite, even though it's a backup strat. I like seeing it. So let's see if... Alright, so the Womple Jump is building up running speed in the Precious Room, the one right before / after Dragon, and jumping over that first pillar with that running speed to get through the rest of the room. And it's pretty quick if you get it right. So much so that, there we go, Kashmod just got it on their screen. Look at how much faster Cash can get through this room. It saves a lot more time than you would think. Because if you spark across that room with the spike suit or blue suit that you would normally pick up from Dragon, you have to sit through the crash animation. So Womple isn't that much slower. And Professor going for... Man, he was going for it. He was going for that Plasma Spark. I love this. We are seeing all kinds of high-level stuff from these runners. Cash also looked like they were going for the Plasma Spark, but... I do not see very many runners actually get that. So now that the runners have Plasma Beam, they can use it against every other boss that they're going to come up against. And, well, you'll notice they haven't really done anything that an old route run wouldn't have done. Where's the all bosses part? That's coming up soon. They're going to exit Meridia the way they normally would, go down the Norfair elevator, and where a lot of runners would take the, they call it the northern route or the upper route to get to lower Norfair, and some runners take the southern one. It is, obviously, they're going to take the southern route, the lower one that passes right by Crocomeyer's door, pop in, say hi, and leave. And the reason they're doing Croc now is because they have Plasma. Makes sense to do it when you can one-shot him and get out of there. At their option, for safety, they can also pick up the Croc E-Tank, because you have to wait for Croc's death animation to play anyway. The only time that it costs is the item fanfare. Now, they each already have 4 E-Tanks, so I don't know if they're going to do it or not. High five in the ice beam or pre-ice room. This has been so close the entire time. Like, I can't believe we are 31.5 minutes into this. And they're still not that far apart. Trading the lead back and forth all game. This is exactly the kind of run I wanted to see. Nice mock ball exit. Ice escape from kashmod. Too bad he's got to go down so that it doesn't actually get them under the gate the way that it normally would. And waiting for the Croc. And here we see Plasma making very short work of this boss. Fight's over as soon as it begins. You just have to sit here and wait. And it's looking like Professor is not going to be picking up that E-Tank. kashmod, on the other hand, is. What a race. What a very close race between these runners, if you are not following them. Check out the link to their channels in the chat. ProfessorSchool and kashmod. They do a wide variety of different things with this game. They are incredible to watch and just fun to hang out with. Nice, Professor. Maintaining speed through that room. And... no chronic boost. Which is probably fine, because now that I look at his power bomb count, that's probably what he was going for. Kashmod also opening that door and space jumping through to maintain speed. It's not difficult to do, it just looks really cool. And Cash, that looked good. I think that was a good chronic boost. There it is. As this is all bosses, we are seeing Gold Chorizo coming up. Which also means Screw Attack. Again, you're right here. It costs an item fanfare to pick up Screw Attack, and it can save time in Lower Norfair especially, so I do expect the runners to pick it up, but it is optional. And poor GT, force him into a corner, stand in that specific spot, and then crouch, aim up. He gets confused about what you're doing and just jumps over and over and over again. And if you time your shots right, you can hit him twice with your plasma beam. As in, each shot hits him twice. I think it's 13 shots if I recall correctly. And GT is down. And both runners are picking up Screw Attack. It's right there. Yeah, you're running right past it otherwise, so you might as well. And since you're coming from the GT room in this category, it's a little easier to charge up that spark to get through pillars. Worst room in the game with Space Jump and Screw Attack? Yeah, doesn't matter. Alright, now Prof is still ahead at this point, at the 36-minute mark. Ridley is coming up, and depending on what he does, Prof might pull ahead a bit more, or Cash might catch up a little bit. Of course, there's always the possibility that we see somebody lose time in Plower House, or... I guess that's it, really. Maybe Metal Pirates. Actually, now that I've said that, I want to see what strat they go for Metal Pirates. Prof first. Does he go for the two-hit kill on both of them? Yes, he does. Oh, yeah. First shot hits one of the pirates twice, taking him out, and the other pirate once. Second shot takes out the second pirate. It is such a cool trick. Aw, Kashmod went for it, but it didn't work out for them. That's okay, though. Still a very fast Metal Pirate room. And Plower House for Kashmod. I actually did not see if Prof got that. Oh, never mind. Bonked it. Oh, well. And Ridley, the notorious dangerous boss with 4 E-Tanks and a full beam combination. Yeah, he's, the biggest problem they're gonna have with Ridley is this right here. Yeah, he is dead on Prof's screen. He's just ramming instead of picking him up. There are ways you can manipulate Ridley into picking you up, but, well, like everything else in this game, doesn't always work. Ooh, Cash is having trouble here, getting grabbed, and Ridley's not giving him the pattern. There we go, he's done. And looks like he's going to wait for the drops. I mentioned speed balls earlier when I was talking about mock balls, and that you would see at least one. Check out ProfessorSchool. Oh, almost. Oh, I knew he was going to go for it at least. Kashmod, I expect that they will also go for it, so you might get to see it after all. The power bomb goes off in Wasteland like that, and it causes lag and can really mess up your movement. So Cash ramming into the spikes accidentally, and went for the speed ball, but unfortunately it is a very tight mock ball to get. Both of them dealing with key hunters in different capacities. That screw attack is putting in work, paying for itself. And there is still one more boss that needs to go before ProfessorSchool, now that he's out of Norfair. Oh, Cash is right behind him. Can go to Turian and finish the game. To that end, this isn't going to look like a normal route to G4. Because instead of going through Meridia, the runners are going to be forced to go the Red Tower route. Looks like Prof is bit by bit building on that lead. It's still very close, though. Like, what was less than an item fanfare earlier is now about 15 seconds, by the look of it. So, certainly not a decisive or commanding lead at all, but... well, I would be nervous if I were him. Knowing I'm up against Kashmod and in the lead and playing in a tournament race. Ooh, nice entrance to Green Hills from ProfessorSchool, who's now going to try to space jump all the way up Green Hill. Yeah. Cash going to do the same thing. Oh, it's so cool to see this room in reverse. No spring ball, so no reverse slinky, but still looks cool. Here it is, the moment that some of you have been waiting for. Spore Spawn is in this game. And I called him a troll earlier, and I was not kidding. He's not as easy as he looks, Spore Spawn. Prof had to, fired the shot, missed it, had to do a backup charge and get Spore Spawn before he closed, which, doesn't always happen. Let me tell you, it's embarrassing. At least it is for me, to get a 2-round Spore Spawn. Or to get a 2-round against a boss that is a one-hit kill. And from here, it is just to G4 and to finish the game. I did not mention it while they were still in the room, but because the game does not really expect you to have supers before fighting Spore Spawn, on account of him being the gatekeeper of the super missiles, his door is not gray, it is in fact green, and if you have supers going into that fight, you can leave whenever you want. Spore Spawn's death marker is set by the game the moment his health reaches 0, so they don't have to wait for the death animation, they just leave. That is a heck of a G4 time for both runners.
Power of science.
What the heck was that? I have Prof's audio on, and I think he may have forgotten to turn off notifications of some kind. Anyway, I was saying it's a heck of a G4 time for an all bosses run. That is very impressive. Less than 44 minutes. These very quick Turians. Runners of this caliber, yeah, they're not messing around here. Take out the Metroids and run. Ammo, of course, is still very, very important. I'm just now realizing that ProfessorSchool has 11 supers, which means he picked up a pack that I didn't even notice. I must have been watching Cash. And yeah, this race is still close enough that Prof failing Baby Skip and kashmod getting it could be the difference. GT Super, of course. Another safety that you might as well grab because it's right there. kashmod only has 9 supers coming in here, but with 20 missiles, they still do have enough to finish the game. It's that Mother Brain 1. Anyway, no trouble at all for Baby Skip. For ProfessorSchool. And turning off Screw Attack, I would imagine. And Various Suit? That's got to be muscle memory from doing something else. Prof does not want Various Suit off here. Prof, are you listening? I shouldn't be offering advice, but I'm going to because you need that Various Suit. On kashmod screen, I think he just did the down-back Zeb Skip. That's how you can do the Zeb Skip without turning off Screw Attack. Which I was going to mention. I had a note here, like, mention that if somebody does it, but now we're all concerned about what ProfessorSchool just did. Prof, turn on that Various Suit. This is not Hundo or GT Classic. You don't have the health for this, Prof. Thank you. Oh my god. That would have been bad. I don't even have anything to say, just like, that's such a relief. So it would have been a heck of an ending. That is the danger of running so many categories at once, though. Because in this category, or in this tournament, you've got, I believe, well, GT Max obviously can do stand-up. 69% can do stand-up. Does Nintendo Power do stand-up? I don't know if... I think it can. But some of these categories, you do stand-up, and so it becomes second nature to just, oh, I'm turning off screw attack, gotta turn off Varia, and then you get in there, and... But this is all bosses. You only have 4 E-tanks, no stand-up glitch without 6. So, despite the extra pause screen, Prof is ahead going into Mother Brain 3. Seven, sorry. Yeah, 7 E-tanks. Except for GT Classic that does that weird health thing. Mother Brain giving Cash a hard time over here. Mother Brain 3 can be really annoying if she decides to start walking forwards. So the fastest strat is to get right in her face, so that the hyper beams are on screen for as little time as possible. They do cause a lot of slowdown. So if you're trying to get right in her face and she's trying to get right in your face, it doesn't end well. GTC has an E-tank with only 1 HP. Yes. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. So, it is Professor School's race to lose at this point, but it is still close enough that anything can go wrong. This is Super Metroid, after all. We've seen escapes, win or lose matches before. So, go for his spark. And go for the safe right side spark. No bonking, just up. Cash going for the diagonal spark up and gets it, but it's not going to be enough. And there is our winner. Professor School has finished. Where's the time here? First place with a time of 51 minutes and 27 seconds. Kashmod right behind. The race time of 51 minutes and 43 seconds. GG both runners. That was amazing. That was incredibly close the entire time. A lot of lead changes. A lot of really well-executed, high-level strats. Just exactly what we wanted to see out of this race. I do not know if they're coming in for the interview now or after. After this, they are doing race 2. So. Yeah, we won't talk about that Varia suit. So race 2 is coming up. I guess we have some setup to do with that. I don't think anybody's coming in here. So we may be maybe stopping for a bit and coming back in a few minutes. In any case, if you don't follow these runners, I'm going to drop their Twitch links into the chat again. They are amazing to watch and just cool guys to hang out with. Put on a really good show. Thanks to the behind-the-scenes work that goes on into this, getting these restreams, and thank you, SpeedGaming. I'm going to check out what's going on. I will be back to commentate the next run, too. So let's get that set up, and, yeah, see everybody in a few.